Hey you, it's me, Cutter. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Alley of the Dead. So let's jump into it, shall we? So when I was approached to make this song, the words that were specifically used were laser tag type beat. I don't know if you guys have ever played like laser tag before, but the type of music that comes to my mind when I think of laser tag is like repetitive, monotonous synthwave. Okay, so that's what we got here. So as you can see, it's very, very repetitive and basic. Not to be that guy, but I think this is probably one of the easiest things I've ever cranked out in my entire life. So basically, it all relies on this little guy here, right? Right, and it does that the whole time. The entire time, yeah. It does like a few little things here and there to switch it up, but this pattern always stays the same throughout the whole thing. So it's going to start off with that. It's going to start off super high passed, and then it's going to, bring in those low ends. We got these little hi-hats that come in, right? Then we got this big drum fill. Pretty cool. We got the drums, which are just invigorating stuff, really. So here's the synth, right? Some of the things that change about it are the pitch, which just goes up by 2. Right there at that little part, it just goes right. It just goes up, and that's what it does. These just change the phase distortion amount from wavetable to wavetable, which just means it just progressively gets more fucked up the more you turn the knobs. Everybody following along? Great. So when I turn it up, you'll see. You can create all sorts of different sounds just by moving this like 1 or 2%. It's crazy. Here's another phase distortion. And then if you put both of them together, you can get crazy stuff like this. Right, things like that. It's just lots of different ways to change the sound so that it's not exact copies all the way through. So there's something different to listen to. There's also this little knob right here that opens up the filter so it can do things like this. Right, pretty cool, pretty cool. And then you put them all together and you get sounds like this. And then you can change some of the macros around to be like this. We've also got this little LFO tool right here, which basically just adjusts the volume like this. But just for this little section right here. We also have a giant reverb sweep that goes like this. You can see here the wet knob, right? It just pushes the wet knob all the way up. It's like water, which is not wet, by the way. We've got this little almond break too right here. That's it. I don't know what you want from me. So we then have a little breakdown section with a build-up, right? It's literally just changing some of those knobs that we talked about and putting big reverbs, and then there's this little siren, right? If you've listened to any of my music, you've heard it like a billion times. We've also got this nice big, like, chunky... Very nice. We've got some nice, like, downlifters. Got a nice swell. We've got a nice little riser. Right? And then the drums just get crazier and crazier. And then we have a big snare hit.
Alley of the Dead.
And then we have this little text-to-speech guy that says Alley of the Dead.
Alley of the Dead.
In the actual house though, the pre-drop vocal is replaced by like random goofy sound effects. It's really funny. It adds to like the campiness of it. I thought it was really funny. There's like werewolf sounds and like a guy laughing and like screams. It's really funny. You gotta experience it for yourself. Definitely recommend going through that haunted house just for this song. Atypically, right? There's no drop. Okay, so it just goes right back into with just a few parameters changed on some of those knobs to make it a little bit different, because this loop had to be exactly like 5 minutes and whatever seconds, right? So I had to extend this for a long period of time without it like driving everybody insane, if that makes sense. So I had to add some variety all throughout here. Some of the things that are added in here is this thing that sounds like a scream, but it's not a scream. Everyone is like, "Oh, I like the scream." It's not a scream. It's this. God, that sounds awful. And this is what it sounds like on its own. It's atrocious on its own. And then we add a pitch bend, right? We talked about this earlier. Right? We're almost there. And then we throw a big reverb on it, right? We get this. Beautiful. So you throw that in the back of your song and it sounds like this. Right, pretty cool. And then of course, we have to have the obligatory cutter vocal in there, which isn't in there in the haunted house. I promise you, because can't let them know until right now. And then basically this is just the loop that plays the whole time in the house, with variants, having to do with the knobs and different things like that. Basically, we do have some background elements like this little LFO tool, like atmosphere vocal, right, which sounds like this. You get the idea. And that plays a good majority of the time. And then right here, we've got this little melody that I'm sure all the scare actors are so sick of right now. And that plays pretty much the rest of the time. You don't hear it for like 2 loops, and then the rest of the 4 loops is that the whole time. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Right, so nice and fun, not too much, but not too little, kind of just bringing a nice groove to that area in the haunted house. We've also got this nice sub, right, which also gets pitched up at the same time as the main bass. Fun fact about this sub bass is that it was originally an entire octave higher, because in the speakers in that room, they don't register frequencies that low. So in order to be able to hear them in the house, they have to be higher, if that makes sense. So the whole thing sounded like this. Ridiculous. And this is just a basic like sub table with a square wave and a little basic EQ and a sausage fattener. And that's all you need. Look how happy he is. Look at that guy. You're gonna tell him he can't be on the sub chain? You tell him that. You tell him that. I'm not gonna tell him that. So that's basically the entirety of this song. Is just those loops, and then variations with the macros and the little knobs. And then at the very end here, it just goes back up and low cuts all the way back up to where it started at the beginning. Into a big swoosh and fade out. And that's Alley of the Dead. Anyway, thank you for coming to my Dead Talk. You see what I did there? It's funny, you should laugh. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you for coming to this informative video. I haven't really I've done a few of these, but I haven't made them public on my YouTube channel. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.